Hello, kindergartners. Welcome to another super awesome day of math with Mr. On again. We're going to keep learning and growing our brains, so let's get started. Right here, we see a bunch of dots. Now, if we count all of these dots together, we notice that there are 10. Let's double check it though. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we know that there are 5 on this side. Let's keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We know that there are also 5 on this side. And 5, like you have 5 fingers on one hand, 5 fingers on the other hand, equals, if we add them together, it equals 10. So here we have our 10 frame. A 10 frame can be written in a few different ways. It can be straight across with this little space in between. So we know here's one group of 5. Here's one group of 5, and that could be our 10 frame. We also can see 10 frames in a group like this with 5 circles on the top like we've been practicing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 circles on the bottom right beneath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are 2 ways that we can represent and show our 10 frame. So today we're going to keep practicing that 10 frame. 10 frames are very important and useful, especially in math, because anytime we see them, we automatically, which means right away, we know that there's 10 circles, and that shows the number 10. So if we're adding, we can put that number 10 in our brains and then keep counting on, and it helps us find out and understand and discover how many total things there are just by knowing that it can start with the number 10. So let's try it out. Here we have a couple numbers. We know that if these two numbers together, this is the number what? 16. But is the number 16 just a 1 and a 6? No, it is not. The number 16 is a 10 and a 6. We know that behind every 6 or behind every teen number, there is a sneaky 0, which makes that number a 10. So there's always a 10 every time in those teen numbers underneath the second number. So now we are going to represent this number together. So if we pull it apart, just like we've been doing, that means that we have the number 10, and we have to add 6 to get 16. Well, you might ask, how do we do that? We can do it in so many different ways. But let me get out our handy-dandy 10 frame. Right away, we know that there are 10 right in there because it's a 10 frame. It's in the name. Now we only need some more. How many more do we need? We need 6. So can you count with me as we do 6 circle dots? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 over here and 10 on this side. Anytime we see this over here, we can see that there are 10 ones because there are ones, each of these are 1, but there's 10 of them together. So there's 10 ones and some extra ones. Now right away, just looking at it, we might not know how many extra ones there are. You could count them quick in your brain, but if we just look at them, we can say that there's some, or a couple, or a few extra ones. But we're going to say that they're ones because if we count them, we count by ones, just like this. So here, the words that we say are 10 ones and some extra ones. All right, so we use those words to help us make our group, especially with those teen numbers. So we know that how many groups of 10 are there? Just 1. So we know that there's 1 10, and how many ones are there? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or I could look right here. So there's 1 10 and 6 ones. And if we put those numbers together, that makes the number 16. Wonderful. Let's try representing this number in a different way. So I have that number 16. It is already combined together, but if I move that 6 around, I know that there is a 10 behind it. So the number 16, how many 10s are there in the number 16? just one tens behind it. There are no more tens than that. So I'm going to take my 10 frame. 10 frames can be shown in a couple different ways. They can be it can be straight up and down like we saw before, or they can be straight across just like this one. So here we have our 10 frame right across. So we have how many tens? 1 10. Now let's count. How many sixes are we going to need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could make this into another 5 frame. So right here, I have my 5 frame, which means how many do I always know are in the 5 frame? There's 5. But is this number 15? No, it's not. Whoop, so I need to go back to the other one, and I need to add one more dot right underneath. And that helps me show and picture it in my brain that I know I have a 10 frame, a 5 frame. So 10 plus 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16. And that is another way that I could represent or show these numbers. So even if you might already know how to count your numbers, how to put these numbers together to make that bigger number of 16, here is an even faster way for you to do it and another different way for you to represent these numbers. So if we were to say these numbers by using a 10 frame, how many 10s do we have? 1 10. How many 1s do we have? Which means that they're right over here. How many 1s are those? There's 6 1s. So then if I put those two numbers together, 1 10, 6 1s equals the number 16. This doesn't mean that it's 1 plus 6, because 1 plus 6 would equal 7. So that is not what it means. It means that there's 1 10, because there's 1 10 group right here. 6 1s, which are right over there. And then that equals the 16. We've also been practicing representing numbers with our fingers. Now I want you to finger flash me these numbers as quickly as you can. Ready, set, go. The number 16 and flash it to me. Ooh, I hope you did it super speedy, just like I did. First, I showed all 10 of my fingers. Let me see all your 10 of yours. Yes, then we have to freeze in there. Remember, it has to do that little short freeze. And then you can keep going to the next number. The next number is the 6, because 16 is a 10 and a 6. All right, let's try another one. I want you to finger flash it as quickly as you can, as soon as you see it. Ooh, your fingers are going fast. Yes, this is the number 14. The 14 needs both your hands again, because first you need to show 10 fingers. Oh, I hope you're holding them up. Freeze them. And then you need to show 4, because 14 is a 10 and a 4. It's not a 1 and a 4. Remember, this part is the 10 and the 4. Great job. Keep finger flashing and trying to make as high of numbers as you can. Especially work on those teen numbers so you can finger flash them as fast as possible. So today you are going to need to go grab your math workbook and turn to this page. It is Unit 3, Lesson 8, or page 163. Woohoo! Look at how many great pages we've been doing in math so far. All right, take out this page and a pencil. You can either pause the video after I explain the directions and do it, or you can listen to the directions first and then go ahead and get working. Remember, you can always rewind by clicking the little bar right on the bottom and pulling it back if you need to listen to the directions again, and that's okay. All right, so here we're going to look at our numbers. It says use a 10 group and write the partners. Whoa, we've been talking about a 10 group. And we've been talking about partners. So cool that now we're putting those two things together. So first, we're going to look at the number 11. Let's look at the first partner. How many are in this first partner? There's 10, but how do we know that there's 10? We know that because there are 2 5 groups. There's a 5 group here and a 5 group there. They are the same. Let's double check that it's 5 on the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because it's directly below the ones on the top, we know that that's another group of 5. And so 5 and 5 is 10. And 2 5 groups make the number 10. All right, so let's write the number 10 right in that box. To make our 10, we make a 1 and a 0. Next, let's look at the second partner. So here's the first partner. Let's look at the second partner. On the second partner, how many are there? Yeah, there's one. How do we know that, though? Well, we know that there's just one tile. Well, this is a tile in that second partner, so there is just one. So we can write the number 1. All right, let's look at this next number. This is the number 12. All right, how many are in this first partner? It should be easy peasy. Yes, there are 10 because we see 2 5 groups, and 2 5 groups equal that number 10. So I'm going to write it in the box. Then how many are in this second partner? There's 2. We can count them. 1, 2. Or we can visually see them and count them in our brains. So we know that there are 2 in that partner. Now, if we take a look at these partners, so if we look, jump back up here to number 11, we have a 10 and we have 1. Does that equal, is this side the same as this side? So is this equal, this one says 11. Does this equal 11? It does, so they are equal. That is right. Let's look at this number. This is the number 12. So here we see a 12. Now is 10 plus 2, is that the number 12 also? It is, so they are equal. Check. I want you to do the next 2. Make sure that the numbers you have here add together to equal the number on the other side of the equal sign. So you can either pause the video and complete these 2 pages, and then keep on listening to directions. All right, so when you are done, I want you to flip it over so you can see the back. Again, we have some number partners. What do we know about this first partner? Well, we know that there are 10 in that first partner because it's a 10 group. There's 5 on the top, 5 on the bottom. So there's 2 5 groups, which equals that 10 group. So we know that there is a 10 group right there. And take a look. That's the same as this one and that one and that one. So we know right away that those ones are our 10 groups. So that's the number 10. Next, just like before, you're going to be looking at the second group. Now, these ones are not close together like the ones over here. So you can count them, but you know that if there's some in a row and they go down to the next row, how many are always on the top? 5. Just like when we did our number parade, we always drew 5 on the top and then we went down below. So that will give you a hint so that you can keep counting these as fast as you can and keep adding those numbers. Remember, make sure that this side equals the other side of the equal sign. When you're all done, double check your work. Make sure none of your numbers are backwards and then grab out that checklist. You should have completed all of your learning path activities, had a yummy snack. Now you can put a big X mark on the Math Smart Suite. Check. After you finish your math workbook page, go ahead and make your X. For Seesaw today, I want you to take a peek. Make sure you are completing your Seesaw activity. Take a look. There might be more pages than one, or there might just be one page. Make sure you're always taking a look. If you have questions, click that play button, but I know that big smart brain of yours can figure out what we're doing for Seesaw today. When you're done, make that X and go on to finish the rest of your work. Great and awesome job this week. I hope you are continuing to grow your brain and having so much fun with me in math. I love you and I miss you.